Ever felt like you're in a prison, but you can't see the bars? Well, today we're going to dive into a story that's all about that. It's got a hungry fish, a simple sheet of glass, and a lesson that could totally change how you see your own limits.
You know that feeling, right? Where you're just stuck? You feel like there's no way forward, even though the door looks wide open? If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. And believe it or not, there's a fascinating psychological experiment that gets right to the heart of why we feel that way.
And this story, oh man, it explains the feeling perfectly. It all comes from a science experiment. You've got a super hungry predator, a pikefish, its favorite meal, and, well, a simple and kind of cruel little trick. Okay, so let's break this whole experiment down. It's just a 3-step story, but I'm telling you, the way it ends it's pretty shocking. So first, we've got the barrier, then the surrender, and finally, the twist. Let's jump right in. All right, so step 1, the painful barrier. Let's set the scene. You've got this hungry predator, and its prey is right there. Its instincts are screaming, but there's a catch, and it has no idea what's coming. So picture this. Scientists put a clear sheet of glass right down the middle of a fish tank. On one side, you have our fierce pike, and on the other, a bunch of smaller fish just swimming around with no clue they're on the menu. It's the perfect meal, just sitting there, or so it seems. The second that pike spots those fish, bam, pure instinct takes over. It does exactly what a predator does. It lunges, ready to attack. And wham, it just smacks head first into this invisible wall. It bounces right off. I mean, can you imagine the confusion? Like, what in the world was that? But hey, a predator isn't going to give up that easily, right? It goes again and again and again, hundreds of times. But every single time, it's the same painful result. It's hitting its head, hurting itself, and eventually all that pain turns into fear. Okay, now we're at step 2, and this is where things get really interesting. The fight isn't physical anymore. It's all happening in the pike's mind. The cage isn't made of glass now, it's made out of a belief. After trying so many times, after all that pain and frustration, the pike just gives up. It swims over to a corner, just kind of sits there, and completely stops trying. And this right here is the most important part. The pike is now totally convinced that it's impossible to get to the food. The pain taught it that a barrier exists, and now it accepts that barrier as a permanent, unbreakable rule. And now for step 3, the shocking twist. This is the part that changes everything. The scientists are about to change the physical world. The big question is, will the pike's mind change too? So the scientists, they just reach into the tank and they quietly lift the glass right out. Just like that. The barrier is completely gone. There is nothing, absolutely nothing between the pike and its dinner. And this is where it gets tragic. The smaller fish start swimming all over the tank. They're swimming right past the pike's mouth. But the pike, it doesn't move. It won't even try to attack. I mean, what a crazy illustration of how powerful a limiting belief can be. The pike is surrounded by food, but it starves to death. Why? Because inside its head, that invisible wall was still very, very real. So yeah, this is way more than just a sad story about a fish. It's a huge metaphor for, well, for us. Because that sheet of glass in the tank, it's just like the invisible glass we put up in our own minds. This whole thing actually has a name. It's called the Pike Syndrome. It's when a past failure creates this psychological shadow, this invisible wall that convinces you it's impossible to try again. It's a wall that's not even there anymore, but we act like it is. So you got to ask yourself, right? How often do we act just like that pike? Where in our lives have we built these invisible walls because of something that happened a long time ago? I mean, think about it. Maybe it was a project you gave up on too soon, or a dream you just stopped chasing, or maybe a skill you've convinced yourself is just impossible to learn. We tell ourselves, I can't do it, just because we hit a wall once before. But here's the kicker. The most important thing to get from all this, those walls, they're only in your head. For so many of us, the actual glass was taken out a long, long time ago. The opportunity is right there, swimming right in front of your face. And that's really the lesson here. It's not the difficulty of today that's stopping you. It's the memory, the experience of a past failure. That's what's holding you back. So I'm going to challenge you. Try crashing into that wall one more time. Give it one more shot. Because you know what? maybe, just maybe, you'll find out it was never even there to begin with.
It's time. Break the glass in your mind.